Welcome. This is your daily tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries. It is for all zodiac signs. It is not specific to any one energy. It's an energy of its own, and if you're drawn to it, then it's for you. That's how it works. If you're watching this on Astrology Motivation, thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so that you can get notified when I upload all your favorite content. And head on over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for zodiac sign specific messages. I just uploaded Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces today. On Tuesday, Scorpio and Sagittarius and Libra comes out, and then I subsequently post all of the 12 zodiac signs every single week over there. So over there and on Vimeo. So I hope you guys get a chance to check those out. You can subscribe on Vimeo too. I'd love it if you would, man. I'd love it if you would. So what's up, guys? I want to say hi. How is your new moon going? I think the new moon is, it's been very peaceful for me. I hope it's been peaceful for you as well. Just kind of very beautiful energy, easy to release. That's kind of what I've been doing. And I know on the new moon, we're kind of like welcoming in. We're supposed to be welcoming in, but I've just been releasing a lot and going with the flow and kind of trying to not question myself a great deal. And, yeah, hope that works out for me. Anyway, yeah, so let's look at the new moon. Like I said, Pluto went direct today. So that's a big closing out of a chapter of an energy, because Pluto started way back. Pluto retrograde, started way back in Taurus season, so that would have been May. It started way back then, and now it's come full circle to a close. So think about your life and think about all that you've learned and what realizations that you've come to, what truths you've come to, even if they've been difficult, and expect that you know, the things that were not able to last were things that were meant to end. That's kind of what it was. Like I told you guys before, Pluto can't destroy what was really connected to your God space. It can't. It won't. It won't. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to clear out everything that isn't really sincerely you being true to that God space. So it's really not meant to be torturous or mean, but to kind of unclog and unblock anything that's in your way, especially things that you have intentionally put into your way. And yeah, Pluto teaches the harshest lessons, but ultimately there's no stopping it once it gets started. And since it happened between Taurus and Libra, there's been a lot of sort of Venus lessons in its wake. So lessons in finance, lessons in love, lessons in relationships. This is the new moon where it's kind of really beautiful to kind of like think, how has the way that we look at relationships changed? You know, not just our actual relationships, but our relationship with relationships. What do they mean to us? What do we want from them? What do we expect them to do in our lives? Right now, Venus is in opposition to the North Node. So she's basically begging us to kind of level up in terms of our relationships and the standards for our relationships. And there's going to be a lot of shifts. In other words, not really settling for those relationships that don't help you become a stronger, better version of yourself and don't lead you forward in your life. So expect that there will be shifts in those relationships, and you will inevitably not be able to resist them. And if the relationships aren't really aligned with leading you to your best self, they don't really stand a chance. FYI. The color of today is brown, which is a very earth energy. It's a very earth energy, which is interesting. Okay, you ready? Let's get into the reading. Let's get into the reading. We have the Judgment card, which is basically a message straight from the divine that says this is what you're supposed to be doing with your life. This is what I want you to do with your life. Things become very, very clear right now. The cosmic alignment, the cosmic truth. Also, it could be a judgment made in your favor, but it's usually like a decree from the divine that makes itself clear to you. And I have a prickly pear. I have a prickle like in my thumb. And it's irritating. Anyway, it's kind of like, yeah, you kind of understand it, an understanding, a knowing. Don't we kind of all wish we had? Could be in the form of a conversation with somebody. It could have been in the form of something that you read. Somehow, some way, this divine truth, this shift, redirection happens and you just can't ignore it. So don't try. We have the Four of Pentacles here, which is usually stability. Could be financial stability, but it could also be a sense of being stuck in your own sort of like fear-based mindset of, but I don't want to make any moves. I don't want to make any shifts. I don't want to make any changes. And who said it? If you don't decide to change, then nothing will ever change. If you want changes in your life, you have to change something in your life. Right? Like that's kind of what has to happen. Then we have the Virgo energy. Virgo energy is faithful in its slow and steady progress. It's also very internal. It's doing a lot of work within yourself. What is it that you want to discover inside yourself? That's why it's pictured as the hermit, right? It's not just a hermit, it's a pilgrim. It's a pilgrim carrying a light of his own. So this sense of faith in the future, even though I don't know what the future is necessarily going to be. It's an inquiry into those dark spaces of yourself. And then we have this, the Six of Pentacles, which is, of course, offers being made. Sometimes it's offers coming in from the outside. This card, this side of the card tends to imply that it's like doing something for others, but really for yourself kind of thing. This is interesting. There's a lot of pentacles here. So there's shifts in awareness. It's almost like it's starting, something's being exposed about your, the way that you make money or who you are is being exposed as not as charitable as maybe was once thought. Something is not as charitable as it tried to come off as. And then we have this, which is things slowing down, opportunities being broken. What does that mean? Well, with Pluto going direct, it means sort of the fake asses being exposed, right? And if you're having financial struggles or difficulties right now, it's because what you're doing to make money is not aligned with your heart space. That's kind of what it is. It's also saying, listen, there are judgments that have just recently come down from on high. And even if you're on the side of getting called out for the bullshit, that's kind of what it is. And this is like the realization and awakening period. If you don't like what's happening and you see a slowing down, there has to be changes made. Because whether you've been honest with yourself or not, there's a sense of, I don't know, like this isn't good vibes. So creative energy, turning your back on everyone and everything and just focusing on being creative. Creativity as a healing power. And then we have this Aquarius information where it's like God-given ideas are being sent to you, or happiness, not happiness, it's almost like a breakthrough. What can I say? It's like a breakthrough, especially a creative breakthrough or luck. Let's I don't want to say too much until I get all 11 cards out. This is really interesting energy, to say the least. I always say that too. It's always interesting energy. fear, but there's something beyond the fear. There's something beyond the greed. It's almost like a crack in the fear. That maybe I'll try it, right? Once again, facing the fear, the strength card, to facing off with the demons, facing off with the fear. But what's interesting here is that now you see what it is clearly. Because sometimes we can wrap up our fear, especially with hermit energy. You can wrap up your fear in responsible. Oh, but I've been responsible. I've been doing the right thing. I've been responsible. No, you've been fearful. You've been filled with fear. That's why you've been making the decisions that you've been making. It's not about responsibility. A lot of times we wrap our fears up in things that make it look better so it can prolong itself, you know, like a virus hiding, right? It wants to propagate itself, so it convinces you that it's actually something that you've been doing for the right reasons, and it isn't. All of a sudden, bam, you see very, very clearly your brain is very open and wide, and cuts are being made, man. A sense of figuring out those things that seemed like they had impossible answers. And one of those is defeat. It could even be defeating what though? What's the Five of Swords? I just feel like somebody's being bought down. This is hard work. What is the Five of Swords though? What's being defeated? Could be that a lot of hard work is being defeated. It's almost like just like you put a lot of time and you put a lot of energy into it, and now you're starting to see that it's not going to get you anywhere. Okay, but can you tell us really clearly what we're supposed to do today, or what we're supposed to know today? What is this Five of Swords? What is this Five of Swords? Nope. Maybe I just need to take a second. What are the Five of Swords and the Three of Pentacles? What's that supposed to mean? Somebody's been stealing from you. Or what's been, hold on. We have the Five of Wands, we have the Seven of Swords, and we have the Queen of Cups. It's almost like something's been deceptively giving. It's almost like the hidden enemy, the frenemy, the friend that pretends to be, the person who pretends to be a friend, but they've really been the enemy. They've really been somebody who has been making things more difficult for you. Now, this could be different aspects of yourself as well, right? Remember what I said? It's like that virus hiding. They're like something pretending to be good when it's really bad for you. But it knows that if it was overtly bad for you, if it was horribly toxic, then it would be obvious that you had to get rid of it. So it prolongs it's oh God, I'm like ticking like crazy because I'm very disturbed. It prolongs its presence in your life by kind of sort of making sense. But it's really just combative. It's really because the Five of Wands on this side is it's petty stuff that's really dangerous. It's stuff that adds up that could cause a lot of harm, and it's deceptive, it's insidious. That's the Seven of Swords, right? It's insidious, it's sneaking in and doing harm in a creepy way, and she's coming out with that, and it's like, I'm here to help you. This could be somebody in your life, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But I'm here to help. I'm good for you. Or it might not be that sign. It just may be that mentality of, oh, but I'm really good for you, and I'm really trying to do the right thing for you. But they're not. They're trying to shoplift from your stores. They're trying to get access to parts of you that really they don't deserve, because they're not contributing. They're just there to take. And that's kind of what this is. It's like, I'm giving you things because I want you to need me, kind of energy. and nothing's really coming out of these opportunities. They're actually blocking opportunities. This central energy is it's almost like somebody who's you're creating something wonderful, but you're attracting people who are clinging to you, are needy of you, are using you. That's the kind of energy it is, right? And ultimately, it's the expose of that. It's the realization, and that's why some relationships have been taken out of your life. That's why. That's why some relationships have been taken out of your life. Because this person isn't, these people aren't good for you. They've never been good for you. Even if they've been fun, and even if some ways they've been good to you. It's kind of like, yeah, you can give people stuff. You can give people stuff. But, drug dealers give you shit for free at first, too. That kind of energy. So we have, don't let your past hold you back. Show the world the real you and work through your fears. It's almost like that time when I told you about reassessing your relationships with relationships. Why? What's up, Heidi? Why do you make friends with people? Because I see Aquarius energy here, which is about community, and it's about friendship. And since Mercury is in retrograde, it's not just about the exes coming back. It's also about friends in general, friendships, connections. So it's almost like, in some ways, why do we make friends with people? Or the review of these kind of friendships. Even if we don't want to see the truth of them, we're gonna see the truth of them. Scorpio energy is like clearing out the drudgery, clearing out the ugly truth of something. And ultimately, that's kind of what we're forced to see. It's like, how have we backed ourselves into the corner? How have we chosen these relationships being in our lives? Why did we let those relationships in our lives? Usually they were based on some sort of need, some sort of dependency, some sort of, like sometimes there's like some sort of just, I don't want to show the world who I really am. I want to adapt to you just so I have a friend. That kind of energy. That kind of energy. And you can interpret that. It doesn't have to be friendship. It could be in a relationship too, right? Or it could be a job too, right? I'm scared. I'm scared that I won't have any other options. Interestingly enough, this is cracking us open for what? Female, feminine, soulmates. To receive our soulmate. To clear us out for real love. To open us up to real love. The only way to receive real love is to be real love. Is to be your true self. You don't get... And it's not necessarily that the people that you've let in your life are bad. It's that they're not really authentically good for you. And the only way that you get authentically good people in your life is by being authentic with people. So it's sort of the readjustment inside ourselves. I told you a lot of this is all going on very internal. It's like readjusting who you are to be more honest with who you are so that you attract people who are actually for you and not just shit you're settling for. And this has a lot to do with romantic relationships right now. Because we have soulmates here. And there's a soulmate that definitely wants to come through. Sacral chakra is primal urges. Could be kundalini energy. Something about the past, which means there's a lot of drudgery and fear that has sat there, and it needs to get out of us. It wants to come out of us. It wants to be purged. We have awareness here. Sudden awareness of our fears, Sudden awareness of our desires, sudden awareness of maybe somebody else's desires. Interesting. And then we have financial and material changes. This is in reverse, so they're not really good changes, but suddenly we're realizing why things have changed. In other words, there's truth coming out. What did I compare it to? I feel like in my weekly astrology forecast, I compared this week in some ways to truth serum. Like the truth is coming out now. The truth is coming out. Discontent and boredom is here. So we're losing interest in things. And what we've lost interest in is showing us a truth. It's showing us what we're ready to let go of. It's also showing us that maybe we haven't been challenging ourselves enough. We haven't been doing enough with our time. We haven't been doing enough with our energy. There's definitely room for improvement here. It could also mean, I'm going to say this right now, there's a sense of you're feeling discontented and bored or disconnected from certain relationships or certain people because it's their time in your life is run complete. Now, if you're not, then guess what? We're not talking about that situation. But it's kind of like that. It's kind of like you wouldn't be bored with something that there's still a place in your life for. Spring is here. There's changes. There's changes in the way that you feel about people. Why? Why are there changes in the way that you feel about people? Because they're not really your people, and you got to make fucking room for the ones who really are. We have spring, which is changes. Everything changes. The seasons change, and emotions come up, and you got to let them come up. And this is emotions coming from deep down inside that for some reason we've suppressed. And this could have started, this could also be in the timestamp, right? We've started in the spring. This was Pluto going retrograde. This sense of really like, almost like sucking us back into this state of fear, right? And now those emotions are actually coming up. Unconditional love is here. So this is accepting all of yourself, not just the bits and pieces that are convenient, and realizing that all of you deserves to be loved. And then resolution. I just feel like there's something full circle. I want all the cards on the table. I know I'm kind of being greedy. I don't want to do this one yet. What do I want? All of a sudden, I took a nap too. All of a sudden I got tired. I am chosen and I am royalty. Yeah, this is a huge opportunity coming through. I feel desired. This is a huge opportunity coming through. All of these cards on the table are giving me a simple message. If it's ended, or if it's ending, you have to let it go. You have to let it end. It has to be finished. On this new moon in Libra, something wants to come in. It can't come in if you've blocked it up with something that you are insisting upon. Pluto is that energy that will knock the shit out of you if you're trying to over control something. Can you hear me still? Yeah. It will take your fingers with it. It's like I know that y'all don't want to hear this, but it's like you got to let shit go. If you especially have been feeling this sense of discontentment with something, trust it. Trust that maybe it's not a bad thing. It was a season in your life that you have to allow to change. You have to fucking let it change. Something wants to be done because something else that's meant for you wants you. It's calling for you, and you hear it, and it may make you sad, or it may make you feel like I'm such a jerk, or maybe I used people, or blah, 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 whatever. Fuck. I don't give a fuck. What I'm saying is you gotta let it fucking go. That's 100% what I'm saying. And what you don't allow to let go is going to be ripped from your steely grasp of, I insist on that. You don't get to insist on shit. If it ain't aligned with God, you don't get to keep it. And that's just the fucking truth of this right now. And there are emotions that are going to come up. And it's not about good or bad, right or wrong. It's about what isn't meant for you anymore. That's all it is. And people take it too fucking personally, like they let their pride get in the way. That's what they do. They let their pride get in the way. And they insist, well, I started this, so I got to finish it. Not if it was the wrong thing. Not if it wasn't right. And when it, it's tricky when it comes to like work. Because remember, Venus rules finances as well. It's tricky when it comes to work, right? Maybe you're trying to close on a house, and no matter what, you just can't get the funding, or things just keep not going through. It's not for you. Let it fucking go. And it's not for you because the universe wants to torture you. It's because there's something so beautiful waiting for you. If you would just stop being stubborn and insistent, it wants to come in. So please, can you just trust that what you don't have anymore was never yours? It taught you something. It shared a moment in your life. And that's wonderful. And you should let it go with gratitude and love. This isn't about hate. This isn't about evil. This is about trust the divine. It knows better than you. Because something beautiful wants to come in. Sensuality, express your sensuality. This is coming in the future. This is really interesting energy. I feel like this is this transformation, this opening up of the truer self, the authentic self. And that's why we can get deep down into, remember, like I said, that Kundalini energy, right? It's stirring inside of our belly, and it's ripping us apart on its way out. What part of you have you suppressed for way too long? Don't dim to fit in. Counsel of light, and trust your path. Don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light to fit in? It's a good question, right? How are you dimming your light to fit in? Counsel of light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. What did I tell you, man? You haven't lived up to your full potential in some way. And the divine is getting pissed about it. So it's breaking shit through. It's cracking shit down. That's what it's doing. And you know what? I always get frustrated. I'm like, sometimes Pluto, I'm sick of the hard hand, right? I'm sick of the wrecking ball. I didn't like it when Miley Cyrus wrote it, and I don't like it when you do it. Some of us need a gentle hand. We need stop the enigmatic bullshit of trying to. We don't understand, and ultimately the universe isn't working against you. So this is a perfect time if you're confused or frustrated, and it's like building inside of you, like that feeling of, well, fuck this shit. What is she talking about? Am I doing something wrong? Talk to God. Talk to the universe. Take your time that you're getting frustrated, you're getting confused. Take a second, turn off this reading. Just take a second and say, can you please help me? I don't know what the fuck you want me to know. You keep shouting something at me, but I don't understand you. You're not doing it in a way that I understand. My God, universe, whatever you want to call it, I will make the fucking changes. But what am I supposed to do? You're not speaking a language yet that I can understand. And believe me, the universe is not going to judge you. They're not going to say, we're fucking stupid. I'm not changing. No, they're going to be like, okay, how do I get this message through in a way that they will understand? I seriously say, universe, I want to change. I can feel something's off too, but I need you to gently guide me to what I'm supposed to really do. And I need you to help me break through too. Especially if I'm certain of what I'm supposed to do while simultaneously I don't know how to do it. Help. Please, please help me. Sincere prayers are always answered. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? That's the chance you have to take. That's the message that God just sent you. If you, it's kind of an extension. It reminds me of that old phrase. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you be doing right now? What would you be doing if you knew you couldn't fail? So forget about all the risks. Forget about all the hardships. Forget about, if you knew you couldn't fail, what is it you would do right now? What is it you really want? Now that's your true desire. That's your answer. And that's what you have to figure out a way to do. And if you can't figure out that way, ask for help. Malachite, prosperity. There's a positive shift in your flow of divine support. And that's that council of light. This sense of the divine being on your side. Rubelite, or getting help through the divine. Rubelite, passion and purpose. Your enthusiasm gives you energy and motivation to work on a meaningful project that's dear to your heart. Bam. If you knew you wouldn't fail, what would you be focused on right now? If you didn't have to worry about rent and you didn't have to worry about bills pay, if you didn't have to, what would you be doing every single day? Now, in reality, the truth is this. You can't just quit your fucking 50-hour a week. I hate it, but I gotta pay. You can't just quit it, right? But what you can do is when you have that answer, when you get to the answer, I'd write my book. I'd go back to college. I'd do this, whatever your answer was, and I know you got an answer. Okay. But what I'm gonna do is every single day, I'm gonna take an hour. Maybe I'm gonna take a half hour. But I am going to think about the hermit energy. That's that Virgo energy. I'm going to schedule a time every single day, 7 days a week. You're not taking a break from this because this is your dream come true. This is the kind of stuff that makes your heart so happy you think you're on vacation when you're doing it. So you don't need to take a break from this because this is your sole purpose. I am going to take a half hour or an hour, preferably an hour, every single day, and I don't give a fuck what people say. I'm going to devote it to that. I'm going to devote it to that. I'm going to take a college course. I'm going to go ahead and register for it. I'm going to start looking shit up on the internet and making plans and getting all my transcripts together and figuring out how I'm going to finance it. And I'm going to take an hour every single day. I'm going to fucking start learning that I'm going to take that course. Or I hate my job. I know I want a new job. I know I want to work in a specific company. So for an hour every single day, I'm going to go on LinkedIn. I'm going to start networking. I'm going to start making those connections with those people that I know work at that company, the recruiters. I'm going to go online. I'm going to register in their system, not just on LinkedIn or Indeed or whatever. I'm going to go on the company's system and I'm going to go fucking set up a profile there. I'm going to start pounding hard every single day. I'm going to research resumes. I'm going to research I'm going to devote an hour every day to this, to making this happen. I want to write that book. I've always wanted to write that book. I've always wanted to write it. I want to be a writer. I want to be a professional writer. That's what I want to be. Okay. An hour every single day to sit down and write that book. Now, mate, what's up, Adriana? You may not be able to write at first, but maybe they're just pictures that start to come into your head. Like shit that just starts to fucking come into your head. right? This stuff that just starts to pull into your head. Maybe you're sketching it down. You're putting down sketches. Maybe you're going to start like a dream board, like an inspiration board before you, like it's brainstorming before you start to write. Maybe that's where you start. But that's where you start. An hour a day you start to devote. I've always wanted to have a certain kind of body. I always wanted to get into shape. You're going to get an hour a day. You get where you go to the gym and you make sure you go. That's what I'm talking about. You don't have to change, make a crazy change. What you have to do is make a change. And you have to make a change that redirects you toward what you really want to be doing with your life. And you have to make it consistent. That's what this is saying. Let's go into these cards. I saved these for last. Yeah, you were with somebody who was a predator. This is Hunter in reverse. Track down your fears and desires. It's almost like kowtowing to your fears. Like being a coward and being stuck. Imagine if antlers were in reverse. This dude tried to do a headstand. He'd get stuck, hanging upside down. Your fears kept you stuck. If this is a human, this would definitely be somebody who kind of like sinks their little just claws into you. And kind of like because they need to feed off of you. A parasitic entity. Now in the future, what is this? Medicine guardian. Be open to healing information. That's what's coming in the future. Be open. How do we kill the parasite? How do we kill the parasite? Well, we have to change the environment in our body. We have to change the environment. Because there's something there that isn't good for us, but it's because we've created the environment for it to live in. Like y'all who keep attracting vampires into your life. Vampires are only attracted to people who cut themselves. Right? You got to stop doing that so you stop attracting the wrong kind of person. These are parasites. These are diseases. These are sort of infectious. They're not good for us, but that's because we're creating the environment for them to live in. So the change has to happen internally. And by making that change internally, you start to shift who even wants to be around you. Right? Like that's what starts to happen. You start to shift. You don't allow that energy to be in your presence anymore. And then medicine guardian, be open to healing information. I would like to know, God, like what kind of information is coming in? What kind of information is coming in? What is this medicine guardian? What is that? Well, a tower, a big change. Okay, but what kind of information? Oh, it's almost like shocking information. That was the answer. There's some sort of shocking information that comes in. What is this shocking information? Could be an actual medical diagnosis. That's really scary. But what's the shocking information? Can you help me understand a little bit deeper? Like, what's the shocking information? There are some people in your life that feel like you should have given them more. That feel like you should give them more credit. Because this is the Six of Wands. People who are pissed that you didn't like take them with you as you came up. So this is almost those people who want to bring you down because they don't feel like you're giving them all the credit that they deserve. But ultimately, I'm going to say this right now, they don't deserve as much as they think they do. How much help do you think? How much do you think you owe people for helping you? And that has to do with self-esteem. People are supposed to help you because they want to, not because you owe them shit. And we get that reading constantly coming back. That Six of Pentacles, like, I'm donating this to get something back. I'm digging in there because I want to take a ride along with you. So ultimately, this is about you finally fucking seeing that somebody was not there to help. They were just there to cling on for the ride. And that may be fucking shocking, but you gotta let that shit go. You gotta let that shit go. And I think a lot of it in your heart and mind is, but I don't want to be disloyal. Disloyal to who? Are you being disloyal to them, or are you being disloyal to you? Who are you being disloyal to? Because there's an expectation of, well, I want you, and so I help you, and now you have to always want me too. No, I don't. No, I don't. And that doesn't mean I used you. That means I took the help you offered, right? That means I took the help you offered, and now I'm moving on, and I'm grateful for it. But what do I owe you for that? The only thing I owe you for your investment in my future is to be successful in my future. I don't owe you anything else. And that sounds real selfish, doesn't it? It's not selfish. It's true. And it's also true from the other perspective. Let a motherfucker go. They don't owe you forever just because you believed in them. You do have to be respectful, and you do have to be honest with people. This is not the energy of using somebody and manipulating somebody, taking what they have, sucking them dry, and then disposing of them. But ultimately it kind of is, because that's what parasites do. It's like sucking them. It's almost like you thinking like you're the parasite because you used somebody, but they were really just using you. And it's that false sense of like loyalty that's fucking you. You know that this is gotta be, this is finite. This has gotta drop off. So let it drop off. Situations that are for real and are meant to go the distance will not drop off. They will remain. When shit's working, it's working. But if you've lost the focus, their focus, like if there's a sense of you're just not into it the way that you were, that's because it was only meant to be there for a certain amount of time. You know, maybe you were somebody's season instead of their reason, instead of their lifetime. Maybe you were just somebody's season, and you got to let yourself drop off of things that were not meant to be forever, including your career, including a job. You got to let it drop off. We're too much into, and I posted this meme a while ago, we're too much into, when I meet somebody, I got to change my mindset, working on changing my mindset to, I want this person to be in my life forever, to, I want this person to be in my life for as long as we make each other healthy, or it's healthy for the both of us. Because not everything was meant to be forever, and it's not bad if it wasn't meant to be forever. It's not lesser than or bad. It just, that's what you need for a while. Even medicine itself is only supposed to be taken for 10 days. You stay on that shit, it's an addiction. Right? You can overdo something because you've allowed it to overstay its welcome, or because you've overstayed yours. This is about getting back into sync with timing, whichever end you're coming from. Has the time ended? Then let it be. There's very few people, especially this is talking about relationships, there's very few people that are in there forever. That's okay. That doesn't make some people bad. We got to stop casting people as the bad guys, right? The villain, the parasite, the vampire. We got to stop casting those roles, right? It's not about that. It's about it just doesn't fit anymore. Maybe I got to let myself drop off of something because it doesn't fit in my life anymore. I got to move on to the next step. Okay. This was a part of your life. Say goodbye with happiness, with joy, with gratitude that it was even there, that you even got the chance of what it taught you. You take those things with you forever. Right? This is about allowing situations to not go beyond their moment in your life. You can't be like Norman Bates, rocking his dead mama's body in a fucking rocking chair. That's just psychotic. What are you holding on to? Those are your fears. You got to clear that shit out. You got to recognize what your Mrs. Bates and what's not, right? You got to recognize. And this is about allowing things to end. And I have a feeling that this isn't like you're going to be on one side or the other. I feel like there are different things in your life where you're going to be on this side in one aspect and you're going to be on this side in another. You're going to be the one trying to cling on in one aspect, but you owe this to me, but this should have worked out. And then in other things, you're going to be like, but I don't owe you and I shouldn't. Like, it's just going to be like different dynamics of your life. But ultimately, the one thing in common is shit's got to drop off and I got to let it. I got to allow it. I got to be the dumpy here and I got to be the dumper here. But I got to let something end and I can't question it because I really am being called to move on to something else. And a big one of those red flags is, what have you just lost interest in? What's been boring the crap out of you lately? You know, what has not been like making you enthusiastic? If you're just not enthusiastic anymore, if you're just not into it anymore, then it's okay. Let it drop off. Let it drop off. 10 to 1, it doesn't need you either. 10 to 1, it's just like trying to like be nice to you and keep you around and say nice things because it feels like it doesn't want to hurt your feelings. When in reality, your feelings, you don't want that either. It's like that. I know it's hard to explain. Sometimes you're going to be the bad guy, quote unquote, and sometimes you're going to be the good guy. Sometimes it's not about bad guy, good guy. It's really not. Like, don't be that simple-minded. Just don't. Okay. Middle path is here. Embrace both sides. The middle path is the road to a balanced and more peaceful life. I honestly don't like that for today. Some shit from yesterday fell out. I just want to like reshuffle, to be honest with you, because I don't like the way these cards came out. Hold on. See what I just did? It's like if I'm not feeling something, I'm not dealing with something. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not dealing with it. You don't have to accept everything. Courage. You have what it takes, just do it. We, your angels, are here to support you. Healing. Again, I, the angel of healing, am with you right now. Feel my presence and my unwavering love for you. I have loved you before the dawn of time, and I will love you for all eternity. And then last but not least, Archangel Uriel. A great spiritual transformation is currently occurring both in your life and our world. This is the union of heaven and earth, spirit and matter. Heart and mind unite in harmonious balance. This is a shift. Oh, sacred space slipped out. We, your guardian angels, surround you with emerald, gold, and rose pink light. Surrender your concerns and worries and enter this sacred space of love and healing. Once again, love and healing, love and healing, love and healing, love and healing, love and healing. Let it steamroll you, man. It just has to happen. It's going to be okay, too. It really is. This is more internal deconstruction. But it's like it's got to be cleared out for new stuff to be built. And remember, this is only a day. This is your daily tarot card reading. This is only a day. It's not going to define the rest of your fucking life. It's not. We're just helping to realign and readjust, so that we make the best decisions for who we are, where we are right now. That's all. That's all. Trust this process and trust yourself, man. You know, stop hating on you and feeling so much shame for not being perfect and not always knowing what the fuck to do. It's okay. We're all just stumbling in the dark here, right? And that's why with faith is so important, because it's that little internal light that shines all the time. You don't need your eyes for it, but it's not going to guide you with your eyes. Right? There's only clarity through that faith. And so just have faith in what feels right and is good for you right now. And you'll be surprised. You will. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. I know I was very late today. But I'm kind of like trusting my space. I'm kind of like trusting what I've been feeling lately. And I'm just not questioning shit. I will definitely be on here tomorrow. I hope you guys can join me tomorrow. Yeah, and that's it. That's it. I'm just going to let you go. I hope you had a beautiful, beautiful... I know. Don't we wish that like that every new moon, all this... every new moon magical shit is happening. Just some magic works slower than others. That's all. Give it time. Give it time. And make those choices that are right for you right now. I love you. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I'll see you then. You're welcome.